All right, folks, we are here with another edition of Musical Moments with the HBCU Collective. And we have my good friends from Tennessee State University with me, celebrating all things Tennessee State this year. Boy, you all have been on a roll. I have Dr. Reginald McDonald, the director of bands, here with us. I have Professor Larry Jenkins and Professor James Dean Sexton with the Jazz Collegians here as well. And I mean, y'all have done everything from go to Midwest with the Jazz Collegians to being a part of Grammy nominated and winning a Grammy. So Dr. McDonald, we'll let you go first and let you talk about everything that's been going on with the program thus far this year.
Well, first of all, Dr. Irvin, I would just like to say thank you for granting us this opportunity. My colleagues that are on here with me, Prof. Sexton and Prof. Jenkins, they know how we feel about Tennessee State and everything we try to expose our kids to. So we appreciate this opportunity to just kind of share with the world what we are doing at Tennessee State. So this year has just kind of been one of those years that, it's been unique to say the least, with regards to the Grammy and with regards to the collegians getting the opportunity to perform at Midwest. And, we kind of coined the phrase maybe about 3 or 4 years ago when we started putting together our portfolio and package for the Tournament of Roses parade. We coined the phrase a band of first, because we realized that we was the first to do a lot of things. And so for the collegians to be the first HBCU band to perform at Midwest Band Orchestra, that aligns with us and our motto and our university and our band and being aristocrats, and to also have an opportunity to be the first to win a Grammy, And so,
I'm gonna mess with you, Doc. I'm gonna mess with you. It goes along with another hashtag that y'all use too. Y'all don't do ordinary gigs.
No, we don't. that was me being silly and being competitive with my good friends at a lot of our sister institutions with regards to recruiting. And so whenever I go out and recruit, and I know Prof. Sexton and Prof. Jenkins do a little bit of this too when they recruit, we always want to separate and set ourselves apart from our competitors with regards to how we expose our kids to music education and the things that we want them to be a part of. And so that's where the whole hashtag "we don't play ordinary gigs" came from. But just going back to our year, and I'm gonna get out of the way and let both my colleagues speak with regards to the intricacies of what happened with each one of their areas. But the Midwest started last year around this time, and the actual Grammy started last year around this time. I remember when Prof. Sexton came to me and said he needed to make a recording of the Jazz Collegians, and I was like, sure. And I think we canceled a couple of rehearsals, wind ensemble and concert band, so that the band room could be available for that recording. Not really thinking about it, but I just knew whatever he decides to do, it was going to be at a high level. And so, when the actual recording was done and it went out and the actual invitation was extended to us, I was excited just like everybody else. But having the opportunity to work with Prof. Sexton since 2001, I didn't expect anything less. He's one of those unsung heroes. A lot of people don't know about him. He is probably, I've been teaching for 33 years. And in my book, there are about 7 teachers that I consider the best, and he's one of those 7, and I get the opportunity to work with him every day. And so
that's a great segue for me to go to Prof. Sexton right now, and then we'll come to Prof. Jenkins. But Prof. Sexton, okay. you have had an outstanding career, and you're a wonderful arranger. You and I have known each other for a few years as well. But to have the opportunity for your ensemble to put on what I consider one of the most memorable performances at the Midwest Clinic. I mean, how do you feel? How have your students felt? Just tell me about the experience for you.
You know how when you get a new car, it has a new car smell? You know, it takes some time for that to wear off. But I'm gonna tell you, this Midwest thing, it hasn't worn off yet.
Yeah.
It's still kind of it's still fresh, like a brand new car to me. So I'm still elated about it. You understand? That's one of those places. I've been going to the Midwest since '92.
I was about to say, ever since I've been going in '97, you've been there. So
yeah. So, and you always, you always gonna expect top-notch performances. People really get prepared for that. The best is in there.
Yeah.
So to have the opportunity to perform where the best perform, my goodness. Come on now.
hey, it was outstanding, Prof. And I know it was a great experience for the students as well. And I know they're going to learn from it. And those that continue to go to Midwest will be able to say, I played on that stage. It was also, as you all are a Conn Selmer school, and we just appreciate you all, being partners with us for all these years. But just to see you all there and to have you all win the Carter Jazz Clinics Festival, the HBCU Jazz Festival last year, which y'all are hosting this April.
Yes,
absolutely.
And actually, we're hosting 2 festivals.
Wow.
We are indeed holding the HBCU Jazz Festival contest, which is actually in the 2nd year.
Wow.
This is the first time it's ever been live. So
yeah,
nice.
Right.
And that able to host that. And the day before that, we're actually hosting an essentially Ellington regional festival.
Wow.
So we have about 9 or 10 high schools that'll be here on that Friday for that event.
So we know things will be swinging in Music City there in Nashville that weekend, boy.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, it will be.
Well, right after the Midwest, Prof, we heard about this Grammy nomination, and we know that we were nominated for a couple of awards, and we got a chance to live through you all social media platforms and see how all that was going. And then, the day comes where you put the link out and everybody's watching the pre-show and everybody's waiting to hear Tennessee State University called, and we hear it. And I, as an alum of an HBCU, Clark Lane University, Mississippi Valley State University, I was proud of Tennessee State University and the band program, just of all the work that students did, all of the work that the directors have done. And I'll be even more personal than that. Hey, my son was a part of it. So
he was.
So it was just good to see and hear. And Prof. Jenkins has been a great person on your staff. Dr. McDonald, you want to talk a little bit about Prof. Jenkins before we get started with him?
So Prof. Jenkins shares a special place in both my heart and Prof. Sexton. Every time I see this young man teach, I actually see a little bit of both of us. He was one of our former students and came through the program, I think 2004 to 2008, and then went on into his career as a public school band director in the Washington, D.C. area. And he decided to go back to school and pursue his master's at Howard. And so with regards to the Grammy and how all of that evolved, that started last year at this time too. And I'm sitting in my office, and you just have to know Prof. Jenkins and how he carried himself. He came in my office one day and he was excited. So I got excited. He's like, man, we got a chance to do an album. I said, oh, okay. And he was so excited about it. And just like Prof. Sexton, anything Jenkins does, I know he's going to do it first rate. And so when he told me about it, explained it to me, I said, we on board. Go ahead and let's start the ball rolling. And, this summer, well, pretty much the spring, trying to get that first single done, and then everything this summer, all of the late nights and the extra weekends and everything. I knew we had something when the McDonald's Corporation asked us to perform at the Essence Festival.
Right.
That's when it started to really sink in that, oh, yeah, we got something unique here. And so I'll allow Prof. Jenkins to share the intricacies of what happened and how it evolved.
Prof. Jenkins, man, it's been a wonderful ride. I've seen everything that you've done with Sir the Baptist and all the other artists that you've been able to work with, Dallas Austin and everything. I know this has been a huge feat, but I'm proud of you. Trumpet players, good friends. I'm proud of the work that you've done, and I just love to hear how it has impacted you as a music educator and how it's impacted your students.
Absolutely. Well, first thing I'll jump back to, talking very briefly, but importantly about Doc and Prof Sexton too, about the impact. Because when Doc says that, you can kind of see both of them in what I do, there's intention in that, because that was my biggest influence. Seriously, I was talking to some students today from Florida about my experience at TSU,
right?
And classes, the certain classes that really, you learn in all of them for sure. You take something from everything, from theory to some of the even more practical stuff. But for me, band practice in whatever band I was sitting in that they were teaching was class, and instrumental methods and orchestration. Those classes were the ones that stuck with me the most. And this is no knock on any other teacher. That was just the class that stuck with me the most in regards to, development. So I take this time to publicly, and I've told them this before, but to publicly, and I'll continue to say thank you to them for, just the example, all the stuff that was learned, but the example, I learned it from them.
You have to think, Larry, that the students that you work with on this album had to feel the same way about you. So how have you seen them, react to all of the stuff that's going on?
They do.
They do. It's an energy that came along with it. Like, it's an energy that they carry now. Also, there's a mindset that that whatever it is that your vision is or that you really want to do, it can be done. And it doesn't have to be limited with that. Whatever it is that you're thinking, think big and think bigger. And I think this process showed them that from the beginning. Like, it started with the artist in residency program that the Alumni Association and a group of the alumni called the Young Alumni Network kind of charged me to do coming out of the pandemic. And from there, it was one of those things where Sir heard the band on IG, and his story was like, man, I have to hear this in person. And he came up that week. And that's just his energy too. I mean, sporadic. He will get up and move.
Yeah.
He will work like crazy. So he got up the next few days, came down. And from there, when I saw that energy, it was one of those things where it was like, you know what, he was the person for this program. And in essence, like, what ended up happening was, the album wasn't necessarily what was going to be the case in the beginning. It was a program to where the students could learn industry insight from him. Right. And then, through conversation, bringing Dallas Austin, who is was a friend of Sir's, now, a friend of everyone. But, it was one of those things, but bring in Dallas and we get all this insight, right? And what ended up happening was there was a conversation over some Mexican food at a place called Cinco de Mayo on White Bridge. And what ended up happening was just plotting everything out. And with plotting it out, looked up and said, we need to do an album. And this is something that we wanted to, go in a direction that hadn't necessarily been done before. And what ended up happening, long story short, through those long days, those evenings, those nights where you're calling on, hey, can we get 10 people in to overdub this? Can we get a few people in for this part? We need to add X, Y, and Z. All this time that we spent really just like going through. And for my folks who, deal in Logic or Pro Tools, anything like that, the amount of stems that were on these songs were just unbelievable. You have a song with a few hundred stems that you need to bring down to about 10. So it was a process, but
So I gotta say this, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Your students are learning the music business. They're learning about recording. Y'all have a commercial music program. You got a music ed program. You got a music performance program. You got all these things at Tennessee State University that I know you are all proud of.
Yes.
But the students, of course, have a sense of pride too. And so I think all of that is huge. And I think the alumni are very proud. Administrators, they're on board. Everything is just pumping now to where, it's really positive for the institution. So what are you looking forward to next year, Dr. McDonald? I'm only giving people just a teaser during this little talk, but what are we looking forward to next year, Dr. McDonald, with the Aristocratic Bands?
So with the AOB, our schedule is filling up daily. Actually, I was just mentioning to our concert band as they was finishing rehearsal the importance of making sure that they finish strong this semester, because they don't want to be that student that's not participating. So the last week of August we'll be in Houston. The first weekend in September we'll be in Notre Dame. The second weekend in September we'll be in Memphis. The first weekend in October we're in Atlanta. First weekend in November.
Oh my goodness, this is a lot, man. You're right. Y'all rolling. Yeah. Y'all are rolling, man.
We are rolling.
Hopefully, when you're there in South Bend, not too far away from Elkhart, that we might be able to team up and do some more joint stuff with Conn, Selmer, and Tennessee State University.
Absolutely.
Aristocrat bands. I just wanted the HBCU Collective to really get an opportunity to hear from you all about some of the things that you've been going on, great things that we've all seen, from afar, but we wanted to hear a little bit from you all. I appreciate y'all coming on and sharing a few minutes with us. I just want to remind you all, as well as those that are going to be looking at this for the next few hours, that Conn Selmer Institute is going on. We actually have a satellite workshop this weekend in Tempe, Arizona, at Arizona State University. So if you have not registered for that, make sure you go ahead and get registered so that you can participate in that this weekend, of course. And on April 29th, we'll be at another satellite venue at CSI Atlanta at North Atlanta High School. So make sure you go on the Conn Selmer website, check out what's going on there, look in the messages up under this this release today to see all the links that you need to do to register for that. And most importantly, our biggest event is this summer in Mishawaka, Indiana. We will have Conn Selmer Institute. And we're looking forward to having so many people, hundreds of people there to have the best music education experience possible. So make sure you go to ConnSelmer.com and make sure you go to the education page, Division of Education page, and see what's going on there. I'm sure my colleague Beth Horton will put the links in the chat. We look forward to seeing you. And until next month, make sure y'all check out everything going on with the Urban Hymnal, everything that's going on with the jazz programs and the Ron Carter Jazz Festival that's going to be going on at Tennessee State University. Prof. Sexton, Dr. McDonald, Prof. Jenkins, in that order. Give us a final word before we get out of here. Prof.
Hey, look, hey, that's what I say, hey. And that means that means that you have done well. So hey.
Yes.
Do well.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna follow suit. Go Big Blue. The Aristocrat of bands is where you want to be. To all my high school seniors out there, marching band, jazz band, concert groups, chamber group, none like us.
All right, Prof. Jenkins.
For me, first, I want to say Conn Selmer Institute, as an alum of the Conn Selmer Institute, please make sure to sign up, because that was some of the best times that I've ever had and most enriching musical times that I've had professionally, especially on the professional development tip. So please do that. And then thank you to our HBCU family, our TSU family, everyone who taps in with us and supports what we do. It's appreciated, and it's definitely family. All across the board, no matter what your school colors are, what it is, we're about our students. So love, thank you.
That's right.
Hey, folks, as Prof. Jenkins said earlier, think big, think bigger. We're in this together. HBCU Collective, we are here together. Anybody have any other suggestions of colleges you want to see here in the HBCU Collective? Make sure you reach out to me in our Facebook group. Until next month, we'll see you.
All right, goodbye. Thank you, Conn Selmer.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.